There was a young woman named Myra, the kind of person who moved through life quietly, but felt everything deeply. On the outside, she looked fine, calm, steady, always smiling. But inside? She was drowning in a silent competition no one else knew she was running. Every morning, before her feet even touched the floor, she would pick up her phone. And like a small cut that never healed, she'd scroll through people who seemed to be doing better. Someone got promoted. Someone got engaged. Someone bought a car. Someone traveled to a new country. And with every swipe, she whispered the same painful sentence: "I'm behind." It became her morning prayer, her daily soundtrack, her quiet shame. One evening, after a long day of comparing her life to strangers on a screen, Myra walked into her apartment and burst into tears. Not because something bad happened, but because nothing was happening at all. She sat on the floor, tired, emotionally tired. Then her neighbor, an elderly man named Mr. Hugo, knocked on her door. He had seen her wiping her eyes. He didn't ask what was wrong. He just stepped inside slowly, gently, and said, "Come, let me show you something." He led her to his balcony, where he kept rows of plants. Sunflowers, lilies, a stubborn rose bush, a pot of basil that refused to die. All of them growing side by side, yet not one of them growing at the same speed. Mr. Hugo picked up a small pot with a short, slow-growing plant. Then he pointed at the tall sunflower next to it. "See these two? I planted them on the same day," he said. One grew fast, reaching for the sun like it was born ready. The other? It took its time, slow, steady, quiet. But guess what? He smiled and tapped the smaller plant gently. It still grew, at its own pace, in its own way, for its own purpose. Myra swallowed, her throat tight. Mr. Hugo looked her straight in the eyes and said the sentence that broke something open inside her. "Stop comparing your seed to someone else's season. The sunflower looks impressive now, but its journey ends fast. The slower plant? It lasts longer. Different timelines, same sun. Different strengths, same soil." He placed the pot in her hands. "Your life is not late," he whispered. "You're just growing roots where no one can see." Myra held that plant the way you hold something fragile, something you suddenly realize is precious. And for the first time in months, she breathed without feeling like she was running a race she never signed up for. She went back to her apartment, placed the plant on her desk, and promised herself something. "I will no longer measure my life with someone else's ruler." From that day, she practiced looking at her own progress. Not through the lens of timelines, not through the lens of achievements, but through effort, through growth, through consistency. And slowly, quietly, she realized she wasn't behind. She was becoming. Your journey is not meant to look like anyone else's. You're allowed to grow slowly. You're allowed to evolve quietly. Stop comparing yourself. Your pace is not a mistake. Your timeline is valid. And your story is beautifully yours.